attracts the money that allows you to become elected. And when I say about bloodlines, let me emphasize from the start, I am not talking about bloodlines that relate in any way whatsoever to Earth races as we know it. They work through all of them, particularly my own, which is my own. Let's take the flipping world over. Now, I don't know whether you saw that. I came across this program. I think it's brilliant. 22 minutes. Have you come across that? Well, I saw this great clip the other day. I thought I'd share it with anyone who's not seen it. You know this guy can't remember world leaders? Yeah? Well, they went along to one of his primaries, 22 minutes, and they asked him about the Canadian Prime Minister, which, for people watching this video version of this, is Jean Chrétien, or Chrétien, or Chrétien, or something like that, you know what I mean? But they went along and questioned Bush and his aides as if the Prime Minister of Canada was Jean Poutine, which translates, apparently, I'm coming from secondary knowledge here, as French fries with cheese. Something like that. So, let's see. This image, which I found in an advertisement, obviously for vodka. Cool, I just fancy one of them, actually, to be honest. Give one to the immigration guy, cheer him up. Here you have all these sheep, and in the middle, with greatest respect to wolves, which are a wonderful, wonderful animal, but symbolically here, in the middle of it, is a wolf in sheep's clothing. That is how the Illuminati, the illuminating ones, the network that have manipulated the world for so long, manipulate the world. You can't control billions of people physically to put people like George W. Bush and Bill Clinton into power. You have to manipulate the way they think and feel. We had a couple of pigs in England a couple of years ago who they were being brought into the slaughterhouse, and they thought, sod this for a lot, this is no fun, and they made a run for it, right? Now, these two pigs ended up on the front pages of the national newspapers and in the national television news bulletins, because it took the might of the British Empire 5 to 6 days to catch these friggin' pigs, because catching something physically and controlling it physically is a nightmare, but you don't have to. The way the scam is played, and always has been played, is to manipulate the way we think and feel so we perceive the world and therefore behave in ways that the agenda wants us to. And, you know, when people first hear this line, a few people control the world, it kind of, again, like, it's lizard rule the world. It just seems ridiculous. There's billions, apparently there's 6 billion people. Who counts the buggers? I've always wondered that. Excuse me, over here. No, don't keep moving. Why? You know, I can't understand that. Can't understand that at all. Anyway, there's apparently 6 billion, so I'm told. I heard it on CNN, you know, claptrap, no news. It must be true, you know. The criminal news network. And Ted Turner's very good to his mother, you know, never goes home. But you don't have to do it that way physically. You do it mentally and emotionally. And when you first hear that line, few people control the world, it seems crazy. But you know the sad thing? Not only is it possible, if you control certain institutions and certain flows of information, it's a piece of cake. And it works like this. If you look at a sheep herd, a herd of sheep, you try to control them physically. You can't do it. You need 6 or 7 blokes for every sheep. They wouldn't be guaranteed to catch it even then, if they express their uniqueness. I am me, I am free, I'm munching here and I'm staying, but that doesn't happen. I've seen it happen, we've all seen it happen. Suddenly, the farmer arrives with the sheepdog and stuff, and suddenly 1 or 2 or 3 of these sheep start to walk. And then it's like friggin' Exodus. They're all going, ba, 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 ba. Well, we're following, you know. And if any of those sheep shouted at the one in front, excuse me, where are you going? He'd probably turn around and go, I don't know, really, I just... But we follow, don't we? Don't follow me, I'm lost. And so, then you have the few of the sheep. here and there who don't fancy just following the one in front. Hold on, I'm all right here, you know. And then the sheepdog comes in, symbolizing fear. And then they're in line. And this combination of bar and fear, the prison with the bars, is what controls herds of sheep all over the world every day. And if we're honest, as a human race, a human family, if we look at ourselves, we find that not only are we controlled by bar and fear, most people following the one in front, and then for those who've sussed that it's all a scam, or at least we want to do something else with our lives, the fear of what other people think of us being different keeps out those people in line also. So that combination of bar and fear, which sorts sheep out, sorts sheeple out also. But we've gone one step further, you see. We've out-sheep the sheep because we've dispensed with the sheepdog. We police each other. What happens is that the symbolic wolf sets the norms in society. What is considered right and wrong, moral and immoral, sane and insane, possible or impossible. That sets the mental and emotional sheep pen, which the vast majority of people spend their entire physical existence in because they're not thinking for themselves. Oh, well, he's a professor, our Dave. He must know what he's talking about. He's at the University of British Columbia. You know, must be bright, you know. Not the bugger I met one, I'll tell you, but there we go. Anyway. And then you've got the people who see that that mental and emotional sheep pen of norms is actually limiting and at its extreme, calculatedly manipulating. But most of them still live their lives within it because they're terrified of what the other people who've given their minds away to the pen will do if they escape from it. The sheep are policing the sheep. You step out of line. I mean, take this as an example. You get to the edge of this hassle-free zone. You know that if you go any further in your lifestyle and your view, that you're going to get hassled and ridiculed and condemned for the crime, and that's what it's become, of being different. And you know, any society in which it is a crime to be different is a fascist society, because it means whoever sets the norms runs the friggin' world. So you're on the edge of that hassle-free zone, and you've gone as far as you can, and you know you're going to get trouble if you go any further. What's going through those people's minds? Fear of what Bill Clinton will think if they go any further? No. Gives a shit. Fear of what John Poutine thinks? No. Fear of what will my mother say? What will the guys down the bar say? What will the people at work say if I express my uniqueness and get out of the pen? In other words, we are being policed by those who have given their minds away, who are putting pressure on us to do the same. Now, I have no problem whatsoever, and I say that to the people who've been protesting this week. I have no problem whatsoever with them saying about me whatever they like. Be my guest. Whatever they say, I've had worse. And I don't have a problem with anyone giving their mind away to norms. That's a choice, and if we're going to talk about freedom, we must be free to do that also. It's not that. It's not that which allows the few to control the world, although it makes it easier. The line that is crossed that makes the few able to run the world is when we cross the line of not only giving our mind away to norms, but insisting that everyone else does the same. That's the line we cross. And I've got a clip now, in 30 seconds, which sums up. I've just gone into the darkness. You see that? Let there be light. I think that guy's on the gin. This is from... That's how it's done. It is literally that simple. And then you go to the next stage. The idea is to take human consciousness, multidimensional infinity. There is no we, there's just one gigantic I, which is what, in the end, when you come from that spiritual perspective, makes